So today I'm going to be making a vegetarian pho with mushrooms and greens, but we have to start by making the stock. So over here I have 3 liters of water, and this has been boiling, so it's ready for the vegetables. So we add 2 onions chopped, 1 chopped leek, nicely cleaned, 2 chopped carrots, and here I have a cup of dried mushroom. So you can get dried shiitake mushrooms in your grocery store. I just happen to have this variety of dried mushroom that we bought at Costco a long time ago, and they keep for a long time. It was a big, huge container. So I'm almost out of it, but this is what I have here. It's just a mixture of different wild mushrooms. So a cup of that. And this is where the flavor is going to really come from. I have 1 lime cut in half, 2 nice thick slices of oranges, a tablespoon of black peppercorns, and 1 red hot chili pepper cut in half. And I have 3 pieces of ginger. They're probably about a 1.5 inch long. So I'm going to put that in the stock. 3 cloves of garlic, and what I did with these is I just took the whole clove of garlic, laid them on the cutting board, and used the side of my knife and just pressed down to squish it a little bit, just to so that the flavors will blend a bit better. 1 cinnamon stick, 1 teaspoon of whole cloves, 2 teaspoons of anise seeds, and I've crushed them up a little bit as well, just so that the flavors will blend a bit better. You can also use, if you can find, 4 star anise, which I didn't go looking for because I already had this, so I'll use this instead. And then we add a couple of sprigs each of fresh cilantro and fresh mint, and fresh basil if you have it. Now, I don't have fresh basil, but what I do with basil when I find it, we use a lot of basil here, is when I find it fresh, I buy several containers and I put them in the freezer because the taste is the same. It doesn't look very appetizing once it defrosts, but I'm going to use this in my stock today. Some frozen basil. So if you have a peek inside the pot, this is what it would look like. I'm going to just make sure that everything gets into the water. I'm going to bring this to a boil, and I will cover it and let it boil for about 1.5 hours, and then we'll check on it again. So we're about halfway through the process, and it's probably a good idea to taste the stock halfway through, because depending on your preferences, you might want to have it not so spicy, in which case you would remove the red hot chili peppers. And we also don't want the citrus to cause too much of a bitter taste. So I'm going to keep the citrus in there. One ingredient that I did forget was a 1/4 cup of tamari, which I will put in now. So I'm going to let this boil for a little longer. So while my stock is cooking, I'm going to prepare the vegetables. So I have a pot of boiling water here, and I have about 2 cups of sugar snap peas. So I'm going to blanch these. So we're going to put this in for about a minute and a half. So we just want the vegetable to brighten in color. So as you can see, they're starting to turn a little bit brighter. Now I'm going to remove these and put it in this icy cold water. I'm going to do the exact same thing with a cup of mushrooms. I'm going to let that blanch for about a minute. I'm going to remove the mushrooms and place them in my icy cold water as well. So the next thing I'm going to blanch, I have these baby bok choy. So I've got them sliced in half, and I'm going to put them in my boiling water just for a very short period of time. Because overcooking it will make the leaves go brown. I just want to pick up a nice bright color. Okay, so this has been in this boiling water for about a minute to a minute and a half. And I'm going to put those in my icy water here on the left. I'm going to keep this water. So I'm going to turn off this boiling water. And now I'm going to add rice noodles into it. So this is going to soak for about a half an hour. And then the noodles should be done. So it's important to keep tasting the stock to make sure it doesn't get too bitter. And I think it's time to remove my orange. I've already removed the peppers and my lime. I'm going to continue to let this boil. So for the last half hour, I've taken the cover off and it's boiling rapidly. And I'm doing this just to reduce it a little bit and allow the flavors to become a little bit more intense. Okay, so I believe that my stock is ready. So I've lined a strainer with some cheesecloth and placed it over another pot. And I'm going to carefully strain my stock into this new pot just to remove the bits. Being very careful. So I've got a nice dark, rich color for my stock. And at this point, you can adjust the seasonings if you want to add some salt and some pepper, although it's quite spicy, or maybe a little bit more tamari. So this is kind of where you would do that magic touch to change the saltness if you need to. So I decided that I'm going to add just the tiniest little drop of sesame oil. So I would say it's probably the equivalent to half a teaspoon. I'm going to stir this around and give it another little taste. Perfect. So now it's the fun part to put it all together. So in my bowl, I'm not sure if you can see it really well because there we go. We've got some noodles in the bottom. And I'm going to add, excuse me, I'm using my fingers, but I'm going to add my bok choy. And then some mushrooms. The sugar snap peas, and I have some bean sprouts. There. And now I'm going to ladle some of the stock over all of this. And I'm going to embellish this with some jalapeno peppers. And if I had some fresh basil, I would add some fresh basil, but I don't. So you could keep this vegetarian, or if you wanted to, you could add some beef to this, or shrimp, or chicken, or you could add you could top it off with a poached egg. I hope you enjoy. I'd love to hear from you. You can go to my website at healthcoachkelly.ca. Thanks for watching.